What's up, guys?
Howdy, brothers.
Welcome back to another episode of Whiskey and Water.
I'm your co-host, Jess.
And I am your co-host, Liv.
And we are back at it once again. And we don't lie, and you guys know we have an amazing episode lined up for you today with influencer and owner of Shop Jace, Jacqueline Woodwell.
And TikTok phenomenon, honestly.
We love that for her.
She has amassed almost 40 million likes on TikTok.
And she has almost like 600K. I mean, she's just killing it.
She's popping off, and we have a really great conversation with her about starting a small business, going for it, taking the leap of faith, what it's like to be a single mom, raising
a young single mom as well.
A young single mom raising a child while running a business. We talk about the different platforms she's on and just her journey getting into this, how she started, and she just shares some great mindset tips and great stuff along the way.
Yeah, I actually have followed her for years. Like we've just been mutuals for years, and I saw that she launched this small business and definitely wanted to have her on because businesses, small or large, there's always just something to be learned. Yeah. And she's really, really transparent about how she started the business and what that looks like for her and what her plans are for the future. Yeah,
and I really liked how we got into talking about just being relatable on Instagram and how it's changed so much from when we started to having very professional, curated content, and now it's so much more about being relatable and shooting iPhone pics. So really great conversation, especially anyone who is looking to get into influencing or looking to start a small business. Great insight.
Love that. But before we get into it, let's do a little squirt catch up, bitch.
Catch up. Okay, so what's new in our lives, brother? You have a new car. That's exciting.
Yes.
I feel like it's a fiasco. I don't know what you would call it. Like,
guys, this has been a fiasco because I think I told you guys I was in the market to get out of my Tesla lease and get into a larger vehicle because of my business, the Casa experience, and really just for life. Like I was kind of just always filling that car to the brim.
It just became an inconvenience to have such a small car.
Yeah. And, I'm just someone that always has like a bunch of shit in their car. Right. And I needed something a little bit more sporty, a little bit more durable that, I could fuck around in.
Yeah.
So essentially on Friday of last week, I had done the transfer. This guy came, I made the transfer happen
for her Tesla.
For the Tesla amidst unexpected hurdles, including my registration being expired, because naturally, why wouldn't it be? So I ended up doing that, and then I went to the dealership immediately after and was like, okay, let's get a new car. I'm leaving here with a new car. I thought that my credit was going to be great, whatever. And essentially, for the past few years that I've had the Tesla was not reporting that to the credit bureau. So when I went in to get a car, it looked like I was a first-time car buyer.
Of course they weren't,
right?
Because nothing is ever easy.
Nothing. And so my dad is telling me to get it figured out before I get a car, but I need a car ASAP. I can't not have a car. And in those few days that I didn't have a car, I was spending literally hundreds on Ubers already. And so it was super, super stressful. So my dad agreed to co-sign for me, and I got a lesser model than I would have liked.
Wait, so he did end up co-signing? Or
no, he didn't. So we went in with the intention of him to co-sign, and he was like, okay, well, if I'm going to co-sign, you're going to get this model because I feel like this is the better one, because dad shit. So ended up going, and I actually got approved on my own for this lesser model and walked out yesterday with the Bronco.
It's so cute. I love it.
She likes it.
I think it's so cute.
For me, it's more of a transitional vehicle.
Because she went, what we were talking about before is she went from such a high level of luxury from a Tesla with all the bells and whistles and technology. And you can play games on the fucking tablet.
I'm like, the Bronco doesn't have games.
She goes, I had to hold down the window for it to go down. I was like, literally, I hate you. Shut up.
Okay, and I understand that my
2014 Hyundai Elantra with one manual key that only opens from the driver's side.
Yeah, see, I don't know how you do it.
I'm like, shut the fuck up.
And I understand that might come off super privileged, but it was just that was my reality, and I really did love my Tesla, and it was fucking great. No,
and you really did go from such a high level of luxury to just something a little less luxurious,
a little more humble,
more practical.
So, but But you know what? That's a sacrifice that I made for longevity and my business. And so I am just and you know, like I am spending less, which is like it's a good thing in hindsight. I am spending less. So like I am going to like be repurposing that money into like directly into my business, and I'm moving into my showroom this week for Casa. So it'll all come together, and
everything for a reason.
Yeah, 100%. And
it's sporty. She's cute. I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that bitch lifted. I'm getting a wrap. I'm getting I'm gonna do everything that I can to this vehicle for while I have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I am extremely grateful to have a car, because even the past few days not having one, it was pretty stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really grateful. I'm glad that I made this decision for my business, because it allows me to kind of like commit a little bit more.
And I think it'll grow on you. It's one of those things, once you get used to it, it'll really grow on you and you'll start to love it.
Yeah, but that's a good update on me.
I'm looking forward to the day. For those of you who don't know, my car is paid off and I'm really just driving her into the freaking dirt. I know I say. But I am looking forward to the day that I spoil myself on a Benz.
Pretty soon, baby.
I'm manifesting this, and it's gonna feel that much better.
I can't wait to be
popping off
rich. And I'm gonna be like Kylie. I'm gonna buy you a Benz. I'm gonna buy myself a Benz. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. In other news, I'm going viral on TikTok because of my dog. What else is new? Honestly, the other one of Ellie went viral too.
Yeah,
people just love Ellie.
Ellie content.
She's a superstar. But yeah, that's it. I'm going viral. I got a haircut. It's a little shorter than I would have preferred, but like
she has a full-on bob.
I have a bob, which I did not commit to, but like it's fine.
It was kind of against her will.
The older I get, the less I'm like, it's hair. It's fun. It's cute. I can make it a moment.
I can relate.
Whatever.
I'm like, hair. Fuck hair.
What is hair?
Just shave it.
So
you would low key fuck up a shaved head.
Absolutely not.
Oh my god.
No, I can't.
You can't, but you could.
But I can't.
But you could.
Oh, but I can't.
Wait, I just think that you would look so fire. Okay, hear me out, guys. If Olivia shaved her head and got a bunch of fucking tattoos, she'd be the baddest bitch. I mean, she is still the baddest bitch on the block. I could already tell she was about to look at me stupid too.
No, it's not that. It's that I would lose my commercial aspect, bro. The commercial of me within the scrubs, strutting in the scrubs. God. So funny,
guys. You guys, if you guys ever come across Olivia commercials, please send them to us, because they
do be popping up. Randomly.
I see this bitch. I get so many messages from people. Are like, is this your best friend? And I'm like, that's her in the scrubs.
It's the commercials and my bread and butter. Okay, moving on. Before my camera dies, I want to tell you guys about the weekly challenge. This week, we want to challenge you guys to just consider another income stream. And this doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like, what inspired me for this was a TikTok I saw of this lady being like, did you know you can sell children's books on Amazon? You go on Canva.
Tell me how I saved that shit.
Yeah, I saved it too. You go on Canva, and obviously it's not going to be as simple as some of these TikToks make it seem, but it honestly just got my wheels turning. It opens
the door.
It got my wheels turning a little bit, and I wrote it down on my list of to-dos is just to start brainstorming some more income streams. And, you know, whether it's Etsy, Amazon, you just got to get
endless
creative.
Opportunities.
You just got to get creative. So that's the challenge.
I need to stop thinking about other income streams, because I want to do so much, and I'm trying to like continue building my bridges. But definitely, guys, if that's something that you want to do, just shift your mindset, allow yourself to be open to it, and I promise things will come to you.
Yeah, and even if you have a full-time job, I think it's great to have a side hustle, you know, and just having it's all about those multiple income streams and having things coming in from different places, passive income, not having all your eggs in one basket, so on and so forth. So I encourage you guys, set aside some time this week and just let yourself ponder. Maybe do some research, look on TikTok to get inspired. Go, there's so much available online in the internet world. I mean, someone could do audiobooks. Like my mom's boyfriend literally just uses his voice and reads books, and he gets paid for it.
Does he really?
Yeah, Eric.
I had no idea he did that.
And it's not, huge income, but it's something.
Yeah.
It's more money than he had before.
Especially if you enjoy it. Fuck it. All right, guys. We are going to thank our show sponsors before we get into this episode. So enjoy.
Yeah, go over there. But before we do that, take a screenshot, let us know you're listening. And I love that our brothers are coming out of the woodworks. We were getting new DMs weekly. And we love to hear from you guys. So definitely let us know you're listening. Tag us.
Makes our day.
We love you so much. And we will get into our show sponsors. Bye. Celsius.
Starting with Celsius. You guys know the fucking vibes.
We both are on our Fuji apple pear grind today.
Our Fuji apple pear shit. You guys already know it's healthy energy, accelerates metabolism, and it burns fucking body fat.
And there is no high fructose corn syrup, no aspartame, no preservatives, no artificial colors or flavors.
It's also made with 7 essential vitamins, guys. It has vitamin C, niacin, B6, B12, biotin, all of the goodness that your body needs to thrive.
Not gonna lie, I made myself a coffee this morning. I took 2 sips of it, and then I didn't drink it. I left it at home, and I grabbed a Celsius. True story.
No lies around here, baby.
You can't make it up.
Can't make this shit up. I didn't see this bitch with a coffee today.
The link is in our description. Go check them out.
Hell yeah, brother.
And we also want to talk about Fitness Realm, which you guys already know the deal. We've talked about them before.
I'm trying to build my dump truck. It's dump truck season. It's fatty season. And you guys know that Fitness Realm is where I'm going for all of the fitness related inquiries.
Yeah, so they have articles, they have products, they have vetted all of the things that they have within the actual website, which is really nice. Like we've mentioned before, you don't have to go looking through reviews and trying to find the best product. It's literally just a one-stop shop. You have everything you need right there.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, so go check out Fitness Realm, link in our description. Moving on to another very exciting sponsor. This episode is sponsored by Smile Brilliant. Did you guys know that 40 million Americans grind their teeth in their sleep? And I know Jess struggles with this because she told me about it.
Because she hears me grinding my teeth in my sleep.
So whether it's stress, anxiety, or an abnormal bite, chronic teeth grinding will lead to worn enamel, tooth decay, sleeplessness, and expensive dental procedures, and nobody wants that.
Yes, the #1 teeth grinding prevention recommended by dentists is the custom fitted night guard. However, it's really costly, with the average dentist charging $200 to $300 per guard, and you will still grind through several per year.
Ew. No, sir. Not on our watch. Using Smile Brilliant's Lab Direct process, you can get the same custom fitted night guards for as little as $45 per guard.
Head over to www.smilebrilliant.com and use code WAW for whiskey and water at checkout for 30% off. Once again, that's www.smilebrilliant.com and use code WAW for a discount.
Yes, thank you, Smile Brilliant, for sponsoring our episode today.
All right, guys, we are here with Jacqueline. How are you today?
Good. How are you guys?
So good. We're so excited to have you on and share your journey with us about your small biz and everything that it entails and how you got started. Before we jump into our conversation, I want to fill in our audience about who you are, what you do. So if you don't mind giving a little brief overview of that would be great.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Jacqueline Woodwell. I started being an Instagram influencer a few years ago, back when my daughter was, I think I started when she was about 6 months old. And
wow, out here.
Yeah. Talk about multitasking.
She's like breastfeeding and then getting content.
Yeah. Well, I was a single mom, so I had to, get that bag.
Make it work.
So now she's 4. And so I've been doing that for a while, and I knew I really wanted to always have my own clothing line. So I wanted a bigger audience for that to happen. And so just about exactly a year ago is when we started to blow up on TikTok, and I just decided to fully jump in the middle of a pandemic and start my own brand. And it has been so fun, and I have made many mistakes, but I have learned from it all, and it's seriously the coolest ride I've ever taken, and I am the happiest I've ever been, and so I'm excited.
That's
we love that for you.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that you started it in the pandemic, which I think that's a little scary for anyone, because it's just, there's so much unknown. Like you already don't know how it's going to go when you start a business. Add a global pandemic on top of it. Like you just truly don't know. I'm curious to know like how you kind of got the balls to like during such a crazy time to be like, you know what, now's the time, I'm doing it.
So honestly, it just came down to a gut feeling. Like,
Wow.
logically, it made no sense to me. And everything was telling me, don't do it. Like small businesses are suffering right now.
Right.
Why would you ever want to do that? And I think I did have confidence with our growing following on TikTok. They were just super supportive, and they're literally the best people who wanted to support us in whatever we did. And that gave me the confidence to do it, which I already had the gut feeling to do. So I think that's
So
how it
good.
all happened.
I
So
love
good.
that. And although a lot of small businesses did suffer during the pandemic, I think that the clothing industry specifically, like people were just like
Online shopping. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
although it was like scary, I do feel like it was kind of like a little match made in heaven for you, because you could just, you know, full send into it. And I think it helps so much that, one, I mean, you're stunning, and you're also just a great content creator. You're a great influencer. So, you know, you also had like that trust in your platform as well. And I kind of want to bring it back a little bit to like how you became an influencer and a content creator, because you said it was like, you know, 6 months into, you know, after your daughter was born. And I can only imagine how difficult that was, even as a single mother. So how did you kind of take that step into influencing, or realize that that was something that you wanted to do? Or like, what were you doing before that kind of led your path into that?
So I think it really started. I always loved taking pictures. I always, and you'll look back at those like pictures that you thought were iconic, and you're just like cringing. That was
Yes.
Always.
We know the feeling.
yeah, because I loved it so much and was trying to like recreate these things. And so I started that like back when I mean, probably in college is when I was like really trying to like take aesthetic photos and make them look cool, or, have a nice outfit on, and posting for no reason. Because I think at that time, Instagram, you were posting for a reason. Like it was somebody's birthday and you were posting with them. It was Mother's Day. It was like odd to post for no reason.
Right.
Just like all pictures of you.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, dude, I feel that though, because we have personal accounts as well for friends and family, and I'm like, what am I supposed to post on here?
Yeah, right. And so I think it was a little bit hard, the transition, because my Instagram was like, it was like a friends and family Instagram. And then I slowly turned it into just like this fashion blog. And so I was obviously like losing friends, people in high school, because I'm posting every day. But honestly, I literally did not care, and was like, because I was also gaining these followers who were interested in the same things as I was. And so
you're like, bye bitch from high school. Yeah, I don't need you.
I'm like, I don't care about you. Who cares? But, and so I think I started having that interest then. And, but then I got into a relationship and just felt like that was everything, and that was where I wanted to find my happiness. It was where I, was just engulfed in this like first love. And I ended up getting pregnant. He left me. And then I realized that life was nothing like I thought it would be. You always like have to plan for your life. And I honestly didn't even think about really working, maybe having like a side thing, but I did know I always wanted to be a mom and do that. But I never envisioned myself as an entrepreneur or doing really anything special. And I'm so glad I threw that mindset in the trash, because everybody literally has a purpose on this earth. And I think it's just so important to find that purpose. And so I'm glad I was able to do that, and all the pain and suffering of like truly feeling alone. Because I think that was always like my biggest fear growing up too, is like being alone.
Yeah.
And then having, now to have this child and not knowing exactly what my plan was, if I was going to keep the baby or, I was heavily weighing towards adoption, and, but I truly felt like she was mine. And after that same gut feeling, it's like, it just occurs so often in my life. And now I just know to trust it.
Yeah.
And just like, she is yours. She is going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. And so I did it. She was a baby, and she cried like more than any other baby I've ever seen or met. But she taught me so much. And the love I've had for her and have for her is like none other. And so around 6 months, she started to kind of outgrow her acid reflux and colicky. And so once that happened, I knew, okay, like my attention had to be on her, you know, as a mom and as
Right.
whatever she was going through. I knew I had to be there, and that was had to take my full attention. And then when she was 6 months, I was starting to kind of run through a list of ideas. Okay, how am I going to make money? How am I going to make this work? Because at the time I was living at my parents' house.
Okay.
And then I remember vividly having a conversation with my mom, and she was like, do you need me to watch Grace while you go out and work? Or, you know, and I said no, because I couldn't imagine, and I think it's different for everybody, but
Right.
I needed to be, she was like my person, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to miss any special moment. I literally couldn't. It would just like wasn't in my mind and soul to do that. And so what I decided is I was going to work from home, and I was going to figure out a way. And at that time I was like, you know, YouTubing how to make money blogging, like how to make
Right.
1K a month blogging.
And
So
just as a reference, what year was this around?
this was probably in it was probably 2017.
Okay. That's when Instagram was kind of just starting to really, like, influencers were just starting to emerge.
Definitely. And so I went that route and decided I'm just going to be consistent. I'm going to take these photos. And it was hard at first, because when you're not used to it and don't take photos of yourself every day, like that's why I think I used to only take like, Mother's Day photos, because there's like only that pressure to like look pretty and nice that one day. Because at that time too, I felt like Instagram was it still very much is, but I think in today's day and age, it's gotten better of just, you know, the highlight reel. And I see so much more positivity in people just showing their real sides.
Absolutely.
But back then I felt like it was all picture perfect. And so I think it was hard for me to like, you know, it's hard to see a ton of pictures of yourself every single day and post them. And so, but then you get used to it, and you get used to taking pictures out in real life. And so I started doing that, and I was just consistent and started to grow. I was like on Instagram, which was nice because, you know, my daughter was still like napping all the time, and I was just on my phone all the time, and I was just, you know, trying to follow people and
engaging with the audience and new people.
Exactly. I had all day to engage, and it was like I saw my post doing better and getting on the Explore, and then you start
back when that was a thing.
I know. So, and then you just start learning about hashtags and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I was fully immersed, and then I really started making money. I was making good cash, but like an actual living that following year in 2018, I think.
Wow. Okay. So you fully had your eyes set on the prize, and I feel like you kind of, your journey is like you grew with the app, like literally, like you just started posting when it wasn't really, because I think influencers back in like 2017, when you were starting to really work on it, they were around, but no one was making a career out of Instagram at that point.
I would say 2017 and 2018 were kind of like
when they
years
started.
No, I feel like I think we started a little bit earlier, because I think 2017 and 2018 were the years that I went like completely full-time influencing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like within those 5 years,
that's when it like blew up, and people were like, oh shit, you can make a living from this.
It went from just having a high amount, a lot of followers, to a lot of followers and making a career out of it,
monetizing it.
Yeah, I really like what you said about like kind of getting used to taking photos of yourself all the time, because I don't think that's something we have talked about yet. We kind of blow it over, like, because I think it's so second nature for us, especially with our backgrounds in modeling. But I know for someone who, you know, has a normal job, but they want to get into influencing, learning how to take photos is like a huge hurdle to get over. And it's, when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that is actually a skill set that has to be worked on and practiced, and learning your angles and knowing what you're comfortable with, and what,
and
you know,
lighting,
what your angles, how you look bad and how you look good in lighting, right? and like the type of clothing that's most flattering on you. It's like things that I think we don't
little
think
nuances
about, but it definitely, like, when you're starting this journey, it is, I could see how that's a huge learning curve.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I think you said it perfectly. Lighting is everything.
Lighting pro tip. Lighting is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it'll like, you'll look at someone's post that you're like trying to recreate, and I remember these like moments. I'd be like wanting to recreate this photo of like Candace Swinople, and you don't realize that this bitch has a fucking team of people behind her, you know, directing her and giving her lighting, and it's like there's just like, people think like, oh, I'm just gonna stand in the sunlight, and you don't realize the sunlight is fucking showing all of your imperfections everywhere. Right. So yeah, there's definitely a bunch of little nuances there.
Yeah, and I think as our job as content creators sometimes is to make things look so effortless and so perfect, and like we literally just walked outside and snapped this picture, when in reality it's so
that's something that we're channeling though.
It's so
we are channeling effortless,
energy,
but it is anything but.
Right.
I know, right?
I'm curious to know what you studied in college.
So in college, I studied communication and advertising.
Okay.
So
it fits.
Yeah, I was very familiar with, you know, some of the like Lightroom and some of the editing tools. So that was extremely helpful for me.
Yeah.
I am curious to know, we have a lot of aspiring influencers in our audience, and what would be like your top 3, or, you know, however many, you know, pieces of advice that you would give them for starting out?
So definitely consistency is like my number one. If you're being consistent and you have a plan, you will go so far.
Yeah.
And then second is just being yourself. There's like, way back when, I feel like when I was first doing Instagram and I wasn't like comfortable in front of the camera, and I would use filters and these Snapchat filters that just looked nothing like me. It's just like, just being yourself in front of the camera. There's so many people that I follow that are just so real, and I love who they are. And always want to watch their stories, and I always want to like know what they're up to and see their stuff like that. And they really inspire me. And I think the third one would be just knowing and figuring out deep down what you have to share with the world, and, you know, and then doing that, and being brave enough to be vulnerable and authentic to who you are, because there's somebody else going through that, and you always have something to share, and someone will always relate.
Yeah, that's so good, because especially like, I love the second point you made about just being yourself, because I think especially like the landscape is definitely changing on social media, where there is always going to be someone who can relate to you. So the more like relatable you are about the true issues we go through in life, and whatever, skin problems or insecurities with your weight, whatever it is, like there are people who will really resonate with you for that. Like, I definitely, this picture perfect facade that I think Instagram started with is really, I think, I mean, I definitely know I see more people on my feed being way more transparent, way more vulnerable, way more relatable. So I really think owning who you are and not trying to be anyone else, like, it's great to have as inspiration. Like, we have our favorite bloggers and influencers that we look up to for inspiration, but
we love them for their vulnerability, you know?
Yeah, that, and like we use it as inspiration. We don't try to mimic them. So I think it's important, like, really think about who you are, who you want to be on the internet, and owning yourself and just truly being yourself. I think it's so easy to try to be like other people and try to copy their style and try to copy their makeup and everything else. But just, I love that piece of advice. Just be yourself, because there's going to be someone out there who can relate to you specifically.
Yeah, totally. And I think like the person that I think embodies this is Emma Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Like, my mom growing up, she was always like, you know, just be really proper, be polite, be all of those things.
Yeah.
And it's like, but also be yourself. You know what I mean? And she fully embodies that. And like, I love her. And
do I need to get on the Emma Chamberlain train now?
Yeah, she's hilarious. Jess doesn't go on YouTube like at all. But
well, I recently discovered her, so I shouldn't even, but like, as I have, I think, I mean, you know,
she's so funny.
burps, she farts on camera, and she literally does not care. And she's just like,
I mean, shit, she's popping as fuck.
One of the most successful YouTubers in the world. And that's a great point, like, because that just goes to show people love that authentic, real life shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think
filtered, and it's not, she's just being herself, as if, like, you know, she's with a family member, you know,
right?
And, like, who are we? We're with our family or somebody we love, and that's who we should be to the world. You know?
I love that.
And I think that this is a good segue into TikTok, and you know, we talk about TikTok all the time, and I think that that's also why it's so successful of a platform, is because it is so real, and there's videos all the time that just go viral just for like their, like, how authentic they are.
Yeah.
And obviously we know that you know, did your little thing on TikTok. She popped off on TikTok. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So it's funny because, as I was, you know, being an Instagram influencer, and all the things you read about how to grow, is like, you need to be on every platform. You need to be consistent on every platform. So I joined TikTok probably over a year ago. It was not this past December, but last. And I was doing, you know, like fashion stuff and my favorite jeans. And then since I also, a part of like being like an influencer for me was more like being also a content creator and like doing these really cool images. And so then I would do like TikToks on that, and they would kind of like, what at the time I was like, oh, it's viral, and it was like around like 15,000 views, but I like loved it, you know?
Yeah. Hey, that's still great.
That's 15,000 people.
Right? And so I started doing stuff like that, especially during like quarantine. It was like my quarantine photo shoots. And then as quarantine like kept going, and I really started to share my like life, and not just like all things fashion. And so I was sharing my daughter, and I shared, I think one of the first, no, it wasn't the first, but I think one of the first videos that went viral was this video of kind of like a vlog style video of my daughter having her first crush on this guy who we see at the Mexican restaurant that we go take out during quarantine. And so she thinks he's cute, she thinks he's handsome, and then that took off. And then I was like, oh, let me just start sharing our life, because
it's resonating.
Yeah, it's resonating. It's what I'm doing anyways. Like, content wasn't hard to get, whereas before I would have my mom watch her for an hour or two while I went and shot content.
Wow, it's a bit more intentional.
Yeah. And so it was all very linear. Everything felt like it flowed. It wasn't hard. And so it started to be really fun. We started to do challenges. And as we started to do that, the videos just kept taking off, and we were just kind of seeing the growth happen really fast. And even sharing our decision to move to Utah. And it was just so cool to see it. And I think a couple of my biggest videos that went viral was me just sharing my story of becoming a single mom, making that decision to keep her, and just being really real with it, you know, because people really don't talk about, I never want to be someone who is like, oh yeah, it was an easy decision, I just knew I was going to keep her.
Right.
Because it's a life-changing decision. I felt so young still and didn't know if I was ready for that. But obviously I know it was the right decision, and I'm so glad I made that decision, and was really intentional about, you know, being prayerful about it, and being all of these things, like just really seeking the answer, because at the time I just wanted to make the right decision, whatever it was.
Right. Of course. Yeah, that's the one thing we're always praising TikTok, because it's like, I don't know if it's amplified our love for it because Instagram is so curated, but like TikTok, it's like the most authentic content gets rewarded. Like, that's what blows up the fastest. Like, I have this video, literally I posted 2 days ago. I had no intentions of even putting it on the internet. I just took it for my dog's reaction, and it's like, who does your dog love more? Run in opposite directions. And it's literally going viral, and I'm in socks, slides, and like really boy shorts, like literally my pajamas, because I wasn't planning on posting it, and then I was just like, I have nothing else to post, I might as well viral. So but it just goes to show, like, people really are resonating with that real, authentic, raw, no makeup, no filter, just genuine life moment things, like type of content on there. And I think that's amazing, and that's why you have garnered such a community, especially being a single mom. Like, that's another great aspect of TikTok, is like there are these little niche communities that end up being so powerful, because like whatever you could think of, the most random thing, there is a community on TikTok for it.
Cooking in the woods,
like literally
huge community. I will never cook in the woods in my life, but you bet your ass I'm watching this guy slap the chicken. I mean, it's crazy.
No, it's crazy. Like cleaning TikTok, people who love to clean, like
I hate to clean, but I'm watching the videos.
The most random stuff. So I love that you kind of found that community, and that you shared your vulnerability, and people like resonated with it so much, to the point where you feel like they have made such a significant impact on your life. Like, it's so powerful. It's not just these little apps anymore. They're life changing.
And I mean, it also gave you the confidence to start your line. Yeah. And have you felt the ramifications of that audience? Like, are you seeing like a direct correlation in sales between the TikTok and your brand?
Yes. And I think I definitely want to be more mindful of the audience, because I think they've helped me so much, in like starting this business and then supporting it. And I know it's hard, because TikTok and my audience, it's kind of a wide range, but a lot of the audience on TikTok is younger. And so trying to keep that in mind, and a lot of people want me to put out a kids line, which I actually was originally planning to launch like a kids and a women's line at first, but the kids line is a little bit more complicated than you would think. And so I'm still trying to figure out the details, but obviously want to listen to the response of that audience, and definitely have been working on that to, give back and show like, I'm listening to you. I love you guys. Thank you for your support and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's such a beautiful, authentic connection to have with someone when you're putting yourself out there like that. Like, they know the real you. They don't know this facade of an influencer. They know you and your daughter and your family and your like most vulnerable moments. I just think it's so beautiful.
And they know exactly who they're like supporting.
Yes.
Like they're supporting Jacqueline and Grace.
Yes.
And they know that like their support is going like directly to you, and not, some fast fashion brand or whatever it may be. And I think that that's really powerful too.
Totally. It is so powerful. And I think it's just why I'm beyond grateful, and always just tell them, I try and go live on TikTok as much as I can, but I am always just like, thank you guys. Thank you. You have no idea how much it means to me. And it's just awesome, because during quarantine, I don't know what your guys' experience was, but for me, like ads and sponsored posts slowed down, because everybody's kind of, during
watching, right?
And that's also when I knew, I was like, I don't want to rely on, at the time I was, and I had saved up a ton, but I didn't want to feel like I was relying on that, because it just didn't seem steady to me, like a normal,
for sure,
8 every 2 weeks job. So, and I would never, I think there's just so many benefits to working for yourself, working on Instagram, working on TikTok or whatever, but finding something for me that was extremely stable for me and Grace was really important to me. So, and Shop Jace gave that to me. So.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And I want to talk a little bit more about Shop Jace and how you're like,
is it JC or Jace?
It's
Jace. Yeah.
Jace, okay.
Grace and Jack. So
that's cute.
Yeah. I love that.
I was not putting that 2 and 2 together, but I love that. That's super cute. I want to talk a little bit more about it and kind of what
the business side of it a little bit.
Let's talk about like the back end of it, like obviously it's super cute, love everything you're doing, but as far as like actually getting it up and going, what was that process like for you, and kind of making the decision, because you are like it's like a boutique, right? Like you're sourcing pieces, right? Definitely. Okay, so what was that process like for you?
So for me, I was actually really intimidated. You know, it just seems like this big thing of like, oh, it's like your own store, and
Yeah.
like, it just feels like there was a lot of moving parts that I just wasn't
Right.
aware of. And you start kind of researching, like I Googled everything, of course, and
Naturally.
naturally. And honestly, the one thing, if anybody wants, you know, to open their own online store or just do anything, it's never as hard as you think. Like for me, now that I've done it, it's not hard. I mean, what's hard is, you know, continuing to hustle, because when you
The
first
commitment.
the commitment and always just learning more about it. But to physically start your own store, you do not need much. You need a Shopify website. You need to find a good supplier, which is hard. I think that it's just time consuming, because you really want to get somebody good and somebody that you trust that has quality materials and products.
Right.
And so, but once you do that, like, I mean, you finish it off by getting your own bags. Like, I got my bags off Amazon. I got my own custom stickers and just slap it on the bag. So at least the bag kind of feels custom, as I'm like, you know, a new brand.
Yeah, this is like the beginning stages.
Yeah. And there's just so many ways to do it in the beginning stages. And then obviously I'll evolve and, you know, have my own like personalized bags and all this stuff. But I've had so much fun just making, obviously researching it first of all, and finding different things that people are doing, because there's so many people are so honest on like YouTube about like everything they're doing, and they're like, oh yeah, this is where I print my stickers, this is where I get my custom tissue paper and all of this stuff, hand tags and hang tags, sorry, and all of that stuff. And so it's just so possible for anybody to do it. I think where the hard work comes in too is because I love fashion and I love just sharing that with people. And it's like a passion of mine. And my mom always laughs at me when I say it, but it's a passion. And so I think what's hard is opening a store or kind of doing most things like a store or I don't know, anything else. It's like 95% of how you're going to market yourself. And then the 5% is like having fun, picking out the inventory and doing stuff. And I think once I'm now like deep in it, that's what I'm realizing is how am I going to market to myself? Because at first it's just like, oh, well, I'm my own influencer anyways. But it's, if you want to grow your business to a larger place, that's going to require marketing. Even though I am an influencer and have a good following on TikTok, like that cannot solely be it. And so kind of that's, I mean, I was watching a YouTube video yesterday that's just like fully informing you of just like also more ways to market. And I think I've got a good idea, but it's fun. Like I think obviously, again, going back to TikTok, the power of TikTok, like I've done super well with it. And, you know, like my sales do well whenever I post about an item on TikTok. But you hear, like, I think the most recent I've seen is the Abercrombie jeans that have like completely gone viral, and they sell out like every Abercrombie store online.
I saw them, yeah.
What?
And then it's like, you know, you'll see like products like chlorophyll, you know, I don't know.
Oh yeah, trending products, yeah.
Yeah, and they just sell out. I know it's just a matter of time before, you know, I market something of my own and it just does the same thing. Because you just continue to put stuff out there. And again, it doesn't have to be like any sort of production. It can be you and your boy showers and your stuff.
Yeah, literally.
You know? I mean, the other day I was just making a joke with Grace, and then you know, I think somebody was like asking me I had a stroller walking, and then I had Grace next to me. They're like, did you have another kid? And I was just babysitting my niece. But I just went off that, you know, what you do, you're like
the comments, you like reply to the comment. Yeah,
the comments, exactly. And I did that in a video and was pretending. I put Grace in the stroller and was like, yeah, she's about 55 months. You know, and so just having fun with it. And then that one like
blew up
for 200K in like
I know. It really is. I always tell Jess, it's like the TikToks that I spend the most time on editing do the worst. Yeah. And the ones that take me literally 2 seconds do the best. And I'm like, okay, let me just not try for anything on here. Right. I really love what you said about the 95% marketing, because Jess and I, literally before we sat down, were just saying how it is all in the marketing, because a lot of these small businesses, they're using the same manufacturers, or they're selling like damn near the same product, but they are marketing it a little differently. And like a great brand, for example, is what's the one, Joa Brown? Oh,
Joa Brown.
Joa Brown, right? And they're selling these little comfy bras for like $200, and people are buying
these
them.
Bras that hardly cover your nipples, but you bet your bottom dollar I want one.
You know what? It's great. It's great quality. I won't take that away from it, but their branding is so good and clean and aesthetic and trendy, and it's like you see the models that they're posting, you're like, I want to be her, like I want that bad bitch energy. And it just goes to show, like, people will pay so much more just because of how you brand something. It's crazy. It's so much in marketing.
It is. And I think when I first went into it, I know at least the first time I don't know if you guys know of Set Active.
Yes. I was literally going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Really? So the first time I heard and saw them was during quarantine, almost a year ago, because I asked for Mother's Day from my boyfriend to get me a Set Active set for Mother's Day. That was like all I wanted, because it was just the thing that blew up. And like, I think Charlie was wearing a Set Active.
Yep.
Addison Rae, everybody, like, that's when I first saw it. And I've been following them on Instagram since, and everything they do is so authentic. They do the behind the scenes. They have just models just doing a quick selfie and posting it on their Instagram. And
that does best.
Yeah. And it's just things like that. And I've even noticed as I've, started to grow Shop Jace's Instagram, because I'm trying to put more effort into that. It's hard when I have all these different, I got Instagram, I've got my Instagram. I'm still doing ads and sponsored things on. I'm doing TikTok. I have my style TikTok now too. And so it's hard to diversify and like stay committed to like being consistent on all of them.
Absolutely.
But, as I've been kind of growing that Instagram, what I've seen is people, there's obviously the higher quality images from SLR that I take. And then there's just iPhone pictures.
Right.
And 9 out of 10 times the iPhone pictures do
better.
And it's so crazy. Even on my own Instagram too.
Yep.
Like pictures of Grace and I do the best, but especially just like iPhone pictures in general, they always do so much better, which is crazy, because going back to like the 2017 2018 Instagram, it was all camera, and like those always performed the best,
right?
And, throwing something like flowers or it was always the camera. And so kind of evolving with where Instagram is going right now, I think is really important. I mean, I've always had a special place in my heart for like DSLR images, because then I started to get into that, and I invested in a nice camera, and
it's a little more creative.
And so I have loved it, but I've also started to love iPhone pictures in such a new light, and and they're just easier, right? You don't have to like spend the time, like, I mean, of course I still edit them, but I don't know, there's something about it that just seems a little bit easier. Light to it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's great for people who are looking to get into it, because I think a lot of what stops them is like, but I don't have a professional camera, and like the quality of my photos. Those cameras are amazing, and like you said, they end up doing better. Like we're even reminding each other of this all the time. We're like, make sure we're like taking selfies, because those pop off. Make sure we're taking mirror pics on our phones, because a mirror pic and posted it, and they literally do so well.
They do so well. And even what I've been doing lately is, so like you said, the mirror pics do amazing. And now,
are you doing the fake mirror pics?
Yes. They're so fun because you can do it anywhere.
I know.
At first I was thinking like people were just taking mirrors with them places, and I was like, that's a little bit much. But once you realize like what they're doing, like I took one yesterday, my mom was just like holding the camera and like it's the sky, and I like loved how those turned out. I'm like, what the heck?
So fire.
Okay,
we need to
for
do that
our
more.
audience who doesn't understand what we're talking about, there is this mirror selfie trick where you literally, someone takes a picture of you holding up your phone,
as
like
if you're
kind of in
taking
front
it.
of your face or wherever, and it looks like you're shooting into a mirror, but it's actually someone just taking a picture of you holding up your phone. And it's crazy because, like you said, then you can take it on the beach, on a skyscraper. You can literally do it anywhere, and it looks like you have this insane mirror in this insane place, and it's not.
Yep.
Pro tip.
And you can cover your face.
Little BTS.
But I did love what you like. We have a lot of girlfriends, influencer girlfriends that are like, what camera do you shoot on? I need to get a camera. I'm like, don't. Like, you literally don't need. And I'm like, we have a solid setup because we have, we do content creation and photography like for clients. But I'm like, if you're just trying to become an influencer, you do not need a camera. Like, of course, I think it's a good investment to make down the line. But for those that are just starting out, definitely not. And even some of our we have a content creation agency called Mood, and we have just like different types of clients. But I've even like, I did this whole campaign photo shoot for a brand I will not name, and when they were kind of like not happy with the photos, and I was so confused because I was like, these are stunning, what's going on, whatever. And then they I came to realize that they didn't want like high quality images. They wanted iPhone stuff. So like now we've done a couple other rounds of like content, and I shoot our entire campaign on iPhone because that's how they like it.
And I don't think they realized that they wanted iPhone, but they were just like, this isn't what we want.
They were like, we don't want the backgrounds blurred. And I was like, that's literally like, I can't unblur it, so I started taking a couple on iPhone, and I was,
we love it.
They were like, this is exactly what we're looking for. And of course I was transparent. I was like, hey guys, just by the way, this is iPhone photos. So, so that we can, when we're moving forward, you guys can just be like, oh yeah, just iPhone. Yeah. So, and we kind of do a mix for like some of our clients now. We're like, we'll get them just like more candid iPhone shots on top of like, the camera stuff. So it's Instagram is definitely kind of taking a shift for sure, which I love.
That's totally how my approach now to even my own brand is like, okay, we're going to do a ton more iPhone pictures, even like the videos we're posting. Nothing's going to be, because I think it then starts to look like an ad, and people will swipe, because I do the same. It's like, I agree. That ads you see on Instagram or TikTok, and you're just like, this is an ad. I want to see like actual. And then when you're stopped, if someone's like just doing like an outfit, oh, this is what I'm wearing, in their mirror, and you're using that as an ad, it won't look like an ad, and people will watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agreed.
Couldn't agree more. And just to piggyback off of that, there are literally national commercials going on air shot on an iPhone. Like there are iPhone commercials. I did one for Popeyes that was shot on, and that was a national commercial during quarantine. Yeah. And then also this brand Simply Safe, which is a home security app, all their commercials are shot on an iPhone vertically, and then they put the two blocks on the side. And even TikTok commercials, she doesn't have cable, so she doesn't know about commercials, but TikTok commercials, they resource their own users' content.
Wait, TikTok has commercials?
Yes. And the whole commercial is just TikToks, viral TikToks. So that just like speaks volumes about the way it's changing the game, and like how accepted and almost embraced just iPhone content is these days.
Yeah. And I think it's just the authentic, it's relatable.
Absolutely.
Everybody has, not everybody, but a lot of people have iPhones or any sort of smartphone that can take great pictures. And I think it's definitely the relatableness that people like we said before, how we were like, oh, this person did this, or for me it was like, I loved the throwing flowers. At that time I didn't know, I wasn't like really educated. I knew enough about a camera, but I didn't know much about shutter speed. Like that's how they're getting that image. They just have the shutter speed. That's all they're doing. Nothing special. And so, but like, it almost was like, it felt like it was up here and was like almost not attainable.
Unattainable.
Get to that place of, oh, how do I recreate that image when you're not as educated on it,
as savvy.
Yeah. And so I think with an iPhone picture, somebody just in the grocery store, it's
my God. The gas station pictures. Like
I can take that. I can recreate that. I want to look bomb just like this other person was.
Right.
And I think it's really cool.
It is so cool. I agree.
I do want to talk a little bit more about mistakes because you had mentioned earlier in the episode that you made a lot of mistakes. And we love mistakes.
We love mistakes.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to talk a little bit more about it and what mistakes you made and
what you learned from them.
Yeah, what you learned from them.
Well, I think I've made so many mistakes in my entire career. I think it wasn't just like, oh, just shop Jace or anything like that. With Instagram, I think I'm the biggest perfectionist, and I wanted to, I would see other people and, everybody kind of was doing either the filter or something else. And there's a few people that didn't, and I love that. And I think that was a mistake. If I could go back, I mean, I guess I wouldn't go back.
What was specifically the mistake? Like making the filter or not making the filter?
No,
using filters.
Literally all of my stories were pretty much filtered.
Gotcha. I thought you were talking about maybe like how, some influencers made their own filter.
No.
Okay.
I think those are actually really fun, but I think it's like the Snapchat specifically where you do not look like yourself at all. Yeah. And I think there are some on Instagram that you really don't look like yourself. But I think when all of your content is like that, they don't know who I am, and everything I would talk about was just really surface level. Whereas now on my Instagram stories, I feel like I'm way more open and just talk about, whatever we're doing, whether it's lighthearted or deep. And so like, even I think whenever it was a couple weeks ago when it was the Demi Lovato documentary came out, and I opened up more about my eating disorder that I had back in high school and beginning of college. And so being able to like talk about that just freely and getting such a good response back, and even sharing when I'm more authentic, it just is a better response. And I wish from the get-go I wouldn't have cared so much about like, oh, well, I don't want to step on toes. I don't want to appear like this or appear like that. It's just like, if I could have told myself, it does not matter. People will only relate to you. And some people, will send hate messages or send whatever, but it really doesn't matter. And I not caring about any of the hate or rude comments.
Yeah.
I think I would consider a mistake just because it always weighed more heavy on me when there's like there's a way bigger picture in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and then moving on with mistakes that I've made in TikTok, everything was, again, like I had a schedule because I do thrive on that. And I think it helped with a lot of growth, but just like doing random videos that just are talking to people and letting them know, and life update that like where I'm at mentally and I need a break, or things like that, just being super transparent. And then with Shop Jace, I think there was a lot more mistakes just because I didn't know a whole lot about.
There was room for mistakes.
And I think my biggest one was I don't think it was necessarily a mistake. I think it could have been better. I originally was just getting a ton of clothes that I loved, and still everything I get is what I love, but not everything. Unfortunately, not all sellers are super honest about like the quality and stuff. And so I'd get things and I wouldn't even be able to put them on my website, and because the quality was so bad, and then they wouldn't respond about returning. And so there was money lost, and which, was really hard, but you learn from it and you realize, okay, you message them a lot more before, and kind of to get a good feel. And if they're extremely responsive, extremely wanting to be able to be willing to work with you on shipping and all these other little extra costs, I think that's when okay, and I think those mistakes were necessary because now I know who and who not to work with, if that
Absolutely.
makes sense. And so I think doing that and then realizing like marketing is a huge part. And for a long time, it was kind of just all on me, which I've been able to make work, but to really evolve my brand, I'm doing something a little bit deeper and going like, okay, which influencers do we want to have not only to partner with, but even possibly, curate their own collection and just different ways to really get other people's audiences involved and just spreading the name Shop Jace everywhere. So that, because you're right, I think we had a conversation earlier is, a lot of the things I'm selling, some people already have too. Mm-hmm. And so why are they going to buy from me?
Right.
Like, because not just because, they know us on TikTok, because I'm sure they've already bought. If that was the case, I already have that audience.
Right.
But it's like, what about new buyers and getting them to be, like lifelong customers of like, they want the next collection too. And right. It's about, maybe sharing, somebody curating their own collection with us and their audience responds really well to it. And then,
yeah, it's like associating your brand with cool people. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what influencers are good for, is like when you associate that brand with that person and people look up to that person, they automatically think higher of that brand.
Yeah.
And that's the power in influencer marketing.
I mean, Set Active, bringing it back to them, they just did that collection with Madeline Klein, the actress from huge. Outer Banks. And right. I already know that's going to go
sell out.
Stupid because, I mean, she has like a cult following after, a show like Outer Banks. So just goes to show like the power behind it.
Absolutely.
I mean, fucking, who was it? Addison Rae had a collection with American Eagle. And, simply because of her name, that's popping off.
It makes American Eagle more relevant when you have someone who is so relevant to like the younger generation, when you associate her likeness with a brand like American Eagle, which like, we have grown out of. Grew up with, but have grown out of since.
And like, I don't think remaining relevant.
Right. I don't think it's were like their Hollister. Market. Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing with successful brands is how will I forever stay relevant? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, because and the launch of Shop Jace was amazing. Like we did so well. And then you kind of see like, okay, like because people are already seeing it, and we're still getting a lot of buyers and customers, but it's kind of like, okay, what do we do? And you kind of learn now, like in the strategies that other brands use, like these big brands like American Eagle or, even Macy's, how my mom always knows about, or no, Nordstrom's about their half yearly sale and like all of that stuff, and just figuring out ways to stay relevant and, not just from myself, but really branching out. And, we're starting to get a lot more influencers and doing ads that look like, things
organic
that on your feed.
Yeah.
So I think not doing that from the get-go and just not really having a plan was probably a mistake. But I think all of these mistakes, again, are something I've been able to learn from.
Absolutely.
And it's like, okay, this is what I want to do. And right now we are working with one influencer in particular that she is curating her own collection, and that will go live in May. So I've been putting a ton of energy into that, and I'm so excited.
Yay.
And it's just going to be so much fun. And I need to get you guys in Shop Jace.
Yay.
Say less, sister.
Absolutely.
And, I'll send you
so good. I like that you shared about the working with the distributor and that type of mistake, because I think that's what everyone is so fearful of, is like those mistakes that like cost money, right? And like when you're starting a new business or any new venture, you obviously want to look at the risks involved, but you also have to just know, like, that's why we said we love talking about mistakes, because mistakes especially in the world of entrepreneurship, like you need to just know, like, look forward to them. Just look forward to them.
Yeah.
Just be excited for your next mistake so that you can learn from it and know what to not do in the future. Like, there literally is no other way to grow, because if you are too scared of making mistakes, you will not start literally anything. So it's like you, of course, looking back, hindsight, you're like, I would have done everything, some things differently. I would have had a plan, but you got started, and like that is the most important step.
And when I even think about it, like, because some days you just are so hard on yourself, and you're like burnt out, and you're like, oh, I want it to do a little bit better. I want to like keep growing like we were. And then you realize like my store has not even been live for a year.
Right.
Yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm giving myself grace, and
you have to.
I've done so much in the time that it has been up, and I think mistakes are inevitable for everybody. Absolutely. It's not like, oh, okay, you do this amount of research, you won't make mistakes.
Right.
I think there always is going to be mistakes made, but it's about how you respond to them and learn from them. And then, you move forward in learning those things and just moving forward differently, and in a way that you
absolutely
make those mistakes.
Absolutely. I could not agree more.
And I mean, it's inevitable.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
We've made go.
No amount of research will prevent mistakes from happening.
100%. And, Olivia and I, even launching this creative agency, we've made a ton of fucking mistakes. And we just realized that that's like part of the process. Like when we first launched Whiskey and Water, it was like full of mistakes. And we just kind of realized that, starting any new venture, there's going to be room for mistakes because there's the unknown.
I would say for the first year of starting anything new, you're going to be in a learning curve. The first year.
And that's what we said every time we made a mistake. We were like, learning curve.
We're in the learning curve. That's just, you chalk it up to that.
Because it's like, and it doesn't, mistakes don't need to equal failure.
I think
they equal growth,
Yeah, exactly. And I think there was, I'm reading this book that it's Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life.
Yeah.
And one of the metaphors was, the palm tree, as the palm tree can withstand hurricanes and all of these things, and winds up to 200 miles per hour. And how is that possible? You know what I mean? It's like, that's a lot. And it's a tiny tree. It's not like it has this big trunk.
Right.
And what it came down to was flexibility. Like it can bend all the way back down, but up. And it's how we respond in these storms is if we're flexible, if we're not, because I never have like a set plan, like this is exactly how it will go. If it doesn't, like it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? It's like, if it doesn't, we adjust.
Absolutely.
That's what we do, and I think when you have that mindset, you can really do anything.
Oh, beautifully said.
Yeah. We always kind of take on this like headspace of like pivoting.
Yeah.
Like we always know that like you can always pivot. There's always a pivot. There's always a new road to be discovered.
I think of like a little like robot, like just going forward, hits a wall, beep, boop, bop, boop, boop, and then just like go in a different direction and start going there. Like my Roomba kind of just hits a wall and changes direction and goes that way.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about the future and what you have in store. I know you're working with an influencer, but any other, dreams further, what you want to grow into, what's after the shop, what are the future plans?
Well, I mean, I can share my whole journal with you.
Yes, your manifestation journal.
I want to do so much, and I have so many, I wouldn't say plans, but just things on my heart that, if it happens, I feel like that would be amazing. Because I don't think like my life is just going to be just the store. I definitely want to grow and evolve the store to a place that I can't even like fathom right now. And so I'm excited about that. And I also randomly, like in my journal, when I write, like I write them not plans, but like the desires of my heart. And one of them, and it's so random, not all of them are like, I don't know, deep. Like one of them's go on Dancing with the Stars, because I think that would be so fun.
I love
Wait, do you dance?
I don't, but I found newfound love for dance when TikTok, the TikTok dances. I love doing TikTok dances. And I don't think I'm terrible. But I wouldn't say by any means good. But I was like, you know what? If I ended up on Dancing with the Stars one day, even though I'm not technically a star, that would be so freaking rad. And
I love that.
But so maybe that's a plan.
That's all right. That's what we have to look forward to, Dancing with Stars.
Yeah. Right. But I think just seeing where life takes me, like once quarantine is done, I for sure want to be traveling a lot more and doing just these different experiences. I want to learn a different language. I want to do so much. Like it just does not stop here with just like fashion and Shop Jace and even TikTok. I think I want to use these platforms. Even I really want to get invested in the stock market with like all the craze about,
hell yeah, brother,
these days, and just be extremely comfortable financially and have the freedom to just literally live my best life.
Yes. Yes.
We're here for such a short period of time, and like and it goes by so fast. Like even just from the time my daughter was born, I feel like I've blinked. I feel like it's been like months, not like years.
I know. And I feel like that's a whole other conversation we can like pick your brains on, is having a kid and what that's like, and like the things that you've learned just from that, because I can only imagine.
I mean, I think about my little sister who's like 18 now, and she's like literally like, she told me yesterday, she's like, I'm driving from Miami to Orlando tomorrow. I was like, you're driving by yourself? I was like, absolutely not. But it's she's like a little,
I can only imagine.
She's like a little adult. It's crazy.
We are going.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No. Go.
As a mom, I will say time just speeds up. Like,
I can't even imagine.
I know. That's all I've heard.
And you don't think it's like real, but like it is, it's crazy. Like the years were like going by faster when you're older. But like when you have a kid, it's like, okay, 2021's done.
I mean, I even see my girlfriends with kids, and like even for them, I feel like I blink and it's like, they're older, because I mean, like, obviously, and we don't even see them every day, and kids grow like weeds. I have a baby brother who's two, and every time I see him, there's like new words. There's he's more independent, and it's just crazy, because it's like, I literally could think about yesterday when she was like pregnant. It's just it is wild, and I can't imagine as a mom seeing your little baby grow up.
I know, it goes by so fast.
So bittersweet though.
It is.
So keeping it all in. So.
All right, let's wrap this up with our 2 questions that we love to ask every single guest. And the first being, what is your biz pro tip? And this could be small or large.
Could be like an organization tip, or like
a mindset tip, literally whatever.
Or a supplier tip, whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever.
I think my biggest tip that has helped me to succeed is writing in a gratitude journal every day and remembering everything you're grateful for, because when you have positive energy and are joyful, you are radiating that, you're vibrating that, and that's what you receive. And it's so true. Like
that's so good.
I claim this energy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then also starting the week with a plan, like on getting organized. My day for that is Sundays. For that week, I go, okay, I'm going to be taking my Instagram photos for, my personal Instagram on Monday, then Shop Jace, Instagram photos on Tuesday, and then taking the rest of the day, and then finding time to really, literally, I'm starting to like hour by hour, like trying to make sure I get everything I want to done, like spending time with my daughter. And because sometimes we get so caught up and we're like running a million miles per hour that we don't get that done. And if you want to make sure that you are, and like at the end of the night, you can say, I've done everything I wanted to do today. And it won't always happen. And being, having that grace for yourself, like, it's okay. Like I took care of myself today. I needed a day to like literally just stay in bed and watch Real Housewives.
Right.
And so, just having that balance of being organized, but also giving yourself grace. So.
Love that.
Definitely. Okay, our next question is the best piece of advice that you've ever received.
The best piece of advice I have received is that, how does it go? It's all that I need, I already have.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
I love that.
I mean, I think it goes for in a lot of different ways, because I think some people are like, oh, well, Kylie Jenner, she built that, but she had such a good head start. But she did. She had everything she needed to build what she did. And then there's people with absolutely nothing that, build these empires. But because that's what they want. And, not everybody wants to do that. But you have everything you need right now. to succeed with what you want to do.
Yeah.
Love that.
So good. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. What a joy. And just ray of sunshine you are.
Oh, thank
if
you.
People want to follow you in your journey, where can they find you at?
So on Instagram, I'm at Jacqueline Woodwell, and same on TikTok. And then I think I have another TikTok, my style TikTok, that's Jack Woodwell, Jac Woodwell. And then Grace and mine's Instagram is Jack and Grace on Instagram.
Cute. And where can people shop?
And then shop.
Yes. Plug it, girl. Plug it.
Like,
you're good.
It's at shopjace_.
So. Beautiful.
Perfect. And that'll all be in our show notes as well if people want to find you, and they can just click right in there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was a joy having you on. Brothers, we hope you love this episode. Make sure to take a screenshot. Let us know you're listening, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.